Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Dirty Bomb, and it's been a while since I've played this game. There's been a lot of changes, new characters, map updates, game updates, all that stuff. And if you aren't familiar with Dirty Bomb, this is sort of the free-to-play precursor to games like Overwatch and Battleborn. Although it's not quite as cartoony as those games, and a lot of the weapons are based off of real-world weapons. So if you kind of like that aesthetic or design style more, then this game might appeal more to you. Now this video is also being sponsored by Chrono.gg, as there is a game sale called the Fire and Light Pack going on their website today. If you go to chrono.gg/levelcap, you can get this pack for 60% off of the normal retail price, which I believe is the best that it's ever been on sale before. Coming in at a mere $6 for 2 mercenaries, a 3-hour credit booster, and 1 Fire and Light case that's guaranteed to give you a card for at least one of the 2 mercenaries. So if you're interested in that sale, check the video description for a link. It's actually a decent way to build out some characters if you don't already own them. And one of the characters is called Stoker, and that's who I'm playing right now. This is the fire side of the Fire and Light pack. And I have to say that I'm actually really enjoying him. He's a very good defensive character. I've played him a little bit offensively as well too. If you play him right, you can make it work, but defensively, without question, he is a master. Not only does he have an awesome Molotov grenade, which will put fire down in an area blocking off a hallway, but it can also kill people incredibly fast. So if you throw a Molotov grenade onto somebody, it'll take them out if they're not off of it in like 1 second. It burns, and it burns fast. Now, in addition to the Molotov grenade, he also gets an ammo station, which works very much like the medical station in the game. You place it down, anybody within its aura is going to get resupplied with ammo. He can resupply himself, he can resupply teammates, so it's incredibly useful on defensive maps where people decide that, hey, we're going to hold the line here. Now you've got pretty much unlimited ammo as long as I keep the ammo station up. I can take it down and move it somewhere else, or I can wait for the ability to recharge and just place it in a different location. Stoker also comes with a decent amount of health and some pretty good assault rifles. He's got 120 health, making him sort of a middle of the pack character. He's got decent mobility, but also health, and a good damaging assault rifle that can actually deal some very good damage at further ranges. Burst firing and tap firing will easily take care of people at long distances, especially if you aim for the head. And you'll know if you're getting those headshots based on a very audible and recognizable headshot sound, which is different from the body shot sound. And this is a cool way to sort of work on your aim in practice. You kind of have a good idea of how much damage you're doing based on the sounds you hear when shooting your enemy. Now, in my history of Dirty Bomb, I've probably played Skyhammer the most. I just liked his assault rifle and his ability of calling in an airstrike. I thought was incredible. What I like so much about playing Stoker is that his Molotov grenade can be used in any environment, where sometimes Skyhammer's abilities kind of get hampered by the environment he's playing around. Like if you can't call in an airstrike because you're indoors, all of a sudden his usefulness goes way down. But Stoker maintains his usefulness pretty much no matter what map you're playing, because he can take people out long range, he can take them out close range, and he can block off corridors really well. Probably the lesser useful areas for him to play are really wide open areas of the map where his Molotov just isn't going to do as much. But even in those situations, you can throw your Molotov on an objective, keeping the enemy team off from arming something for a certain period of time, and you can also still put down your ammo station at any location near your enemies, and it recharges very quickly, so you can just plop it down next to a teammate, even if it's not the best location, give them some ammo, and then wait for it to recharge and plop it down somewhere else to ammo them up again. For anyone who's played Dirty Bomb, you'll know just how important having ammo is in this game, especially if you're a decent player and you can stay alive for a while. Defensively, if you run out of ammo, you can be kind of screwed. So having unlimited ammo is really great for especially finishing off your enemies, because if you don't finish off an enemy, especially if you're up against Sparks, she can just revive them from range no problem, and all of a sudden you really haven't done much other than slow them down a little bit. And Sparks is the other character that you get from this sale. Admittedly, I didn't play her quite as much because I like being classes that are heavy on the damage. However, if you're really good with Sparks, you can do some massive damage, as charging up her little revive gun is also a good way to damage the enemy players. I love having a weapon that is dual purpose. Revive your teammates or shoot the enemy players. In fact, you can even revive your teammates by accident. If they're in a firefight right next to an enemy player, that enemy player kills them and you fire and it hits your teammate instead of the enemy, you'll just bring him back to life. This makes her an excellent long-range medic class, which is very different from the classes that need to defibrillate and get right in there up close with a shotgun and defibrillator. She plays totally differently, and you can just stay back far away. She also comes with some nice little SMG options if you do need to take out somebody in close range. Now, having not played Dirty Bomb in a while and coming back to it, I gotta say it still really holds up as a game, and although comparing it to Overwatch earlier, it does play out much differently in terms of the gunplay. It sort of reminds me a lot of like a Counter-Strike meets Battlefield meets Team Fortress. It's got a lot of cool little elements to it, and there's a lot more skill to the gunplay than most of the other games. It's also full automatic weapons. Everybody's sort of a realistic or semi-realistic based soldier compared to some of the more fantastical arena shooters or MOBA style shooters that Overwatch offers. So again, style-wise, if you really like the more realistic guns and everybody on the ground shooting projectile weapons, then this might appeal to you more. Granted, we do have sort of a laser beam heal gun, which is not exactly something that I think is standard military issue, but for the most part, it is still kind of grounded in a not too distant future. And of course, I had to get some sniping time in with Vasili. He is still a ton of fun to play and a great defensive or offensive character, especially if they're holding you back at long range. A headshot with this guy will put pretty much any character down, and then you can also snipe them from long range to finish them off. He also comes with a nice little motion sensor grenade and a fully automatic sidearm in case people get too close to you. The sidearm's not great, but it does work in a pinch. Otherwise, you can try and go for those close quarter headshots, but only if you're MLG Pro. And like all the other mercenaries in Dirty Bomb, you can switch out their weapons and kind of improve some of their abilities depending on what kind of mercenary card you have equipped. And that's just one cool thing is I've got this awesome sniper rifle here that does massive damage, but I can switch it out for something that might fire faster and do slightly less damage depending on your preferred playstyle. Now, it's actually been long enough since the last time I played Dirty Bomb that there's more than just two new characters. This guy here is Thunder, and he comes with an LMG. He's got a lot of health and a lot of bullets, and he's really a lot of fun to play. His only ability is a concussion grenade, and it's got a pretty good recharge time, and sometimes I hit myself with it and white out my entire screen, but it's very, very fun to play him and effective. Now, granted, his weapon doesn't do massive damage or anything like that, but not needing to reload is certainly a bonus, and having a huge health pool also helps. His sidearm isn't bad either, and when I ran out of primary ammo, I was still able to go on a pretty good kill streak with it just because of my huge health pool. He's definitely up there in one of my new favorite characters to play, and I'm glad to see that there's a healthy player base still playing Dirty Bomb. It's a great free-to-play team-based shooter, especially now that a lot of the bigger companies are charging a premium fee if you want to get into, say, Overwatch or Battleborn or something like that. This is a great free-to-play game, and it also does a good job of preventing people with a lot of money getting a huge advantage. It's not hard to get the decent mercenary cards that'll put you pretty much on the same playing field as someone who's been playing the game for a long period of time, and that's one thing that's really important to take into account with free-to-play games. Anyway, that pretty much wraps it up for this Dirty Bomb video. I recommend checking out this game if you haven't already. It doesn't cost you anything, and if you do want to spend a little bit of money, I highly recommend checking out the sale on chrono.gg/levelcap. Again, that link is in the video description. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.